Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is General-Segolodi. I am the author of Pro-Mortalism, a study of existential antinatalism and existential pro-mortalism. The book is now available on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback format. You can find the Amazon link in the channel description. So in this video, I wish to address a minor objection that a viewer made to both of my videos in which I debunk generic subjective continuity. Basically, it was concerning the claim that I made that we exist in model 2 of consciousness. And by the way, the models of consciousness that I came up with actually have names. These models are actually well established. They are already discussed in philosophy. So model 1 is what is called closed individualism, while model 2 is open individualism. I'd never heard of these terms before, just until recently. That's why I never used them in part 1 or part 2. So in any case, basically the objection here was concerning the fact that in the closed individualism, that would be model 2 of consciousness, it seems that each brain has its own distinct consciousness, but that each brain has a very specific consciousness. For example, if we have two brains, brain 1 and brain 2, in closed individualism, they each have distinct consciousnesses. Brain 1 has consciousness 1, then brain 2 has consciousness 2. But not only is consciousness distinct, but each brain ends up with a very specific consciousness, not just any consciousness. So in other words, brain 1 cannot have consciousness 2, and brain 2 cannot have consciousness 1. So this person was making the objection that there doesn't seem to be any specific reason why this has to be the case. Why is it that a brain doesn't merely just get a distinct consciousness, but a very specific consciousness? So, my consciousness inhabits this body that is known as General. Of course, this body was born on the 22nd of October 2002. But, why did my consciousness inhabit this specific body? Why did my consciousness only appear on this specific birth date? Why am I not Donald Trump? Why am I not Cristiano Ronaldo? Why was I not Michael Jackson? Before I was born, before 2002, there had existed billions of people in all of human history. And of course, when you include animals, that number, the total number of living things that have existed is just massive. So why wasn't I any of the conscious beings that existed before then? Why did I only begin to exist on this specific date in this specific body? So in other words, why am I me and not anyone else? Now this question might seem difficult to answer, but it's actually quite simple. The reason why you are you and not anyone else is because of determinism, the concept known as determinism. Now, of course, to accept this answer, one has to agree that there is no free will. I will separate my answer into two parts. First, I will prove that determinism is a fact, and then I'll explain, what it has to do with our question. What does it have to do with consciousness? So, the first part, we have what is called causation, right? The relationship between causes and effects. So time, and this is something I said in my book, time can only be separated into the past or the future. There's no such thing as the present. What people call the present is really just the very recent past. Basically, it's the past, but like 5 seconds ago or 2 seconds ago. It's just the past that is passed very recently. But yeah, time is separated into the past or the future. Time has either passed or it has yet to pass. Events have either happened or they haven't. So the past influences the future, right? The future is based on the past. If I kicked a ball in the past, in the future, if in the future that ball is going to smash into a window, the reason why it's going to smash into a window in the future is because I kicked it in the past. So the future is based on the past. Now, since the future has not happened yet, obviously you cannot change it. You cannot change something that's not occurred yet directly anyway. You can change the future indirectly, because like we said, the future is based on the past. So if you change the past, that would change the future. But of course, the problem is the past also can't be changed since it's already happened. You cannot reverse or modify events that have already occurred. So what this means is that the future cannot change, which means that the future is fixed. That means that all future events are predetermined. There is no free will. Okay, now on to the second part of the answer. If everything is predetermined, that means that everything that happens is what is supposed to happen, and also the only thing that could have happened. So I'll give you an example here. If I flip a coin, let's say it lands on heads. What are the chances that it could have instead landed on tails? Now, the conventional wisdom is to say that we have two outcomes here. So it's 50-50. It's 50% chance you could have gotten tails because it's all just random, right? But that's false. If we accept that the universe operates on determinism, then what that means is that the result that we got, which was heads, was predetermined. That is a predetermined outcome. So what that means is that in reality, it's not 50% for both outcomes. Actually, it's 100% for heads and 0% for tails. Because the heads result that we got is predetermined, there's actually no chance that we could have gotten tails. No chance that you can get an outcome that is not predetermined. Yes, and so in this way, you should understand that the concept of probability is really fictitious. It's just it's a human invention. Our capabilities to predict the future with 100% certainty, it's just not possible. It's not something we can really do. So our only option is to just use probability. Just look at all the possible outcomes and just think about the likelihood of each one. But of course, probability, like I said, is fictitious, because with what the concept of probability implies is that all outcomes are possible, right? Even if the chances are very low, even if they're like astronomically low, as long as they're higher than zero, that implies that this outcome is possible. But of course, that is just contradicts determinism. With determinism, all outcomes are not possible. There's only one outcome that is 100% going to happen, and then the other ones, all the rest, have a 0% chance of happening. That is the actual reality. There is no randomness, there is no probability. These things do not exist in nature. Everything is predetermined. And so really, even with consciousness, there's no reason to believe that somehow consciousness would be different. It would be exempt from this rule. So that's actually what is in question. The idea that consciousness somehow escapes determinism. It doesn't. The reason why you are you and not anyone else is simple. You are always going to be you and not anyone else. Just predetermined. There may have been countless number of consciousnesses that existed before you were born, but the chances that you could have been any of them is 0%, and instead there was always 100% certainty that you were going to be who you are now. So in this way we can see that if you imply that it's possible you could have been anyone else, and even saying that maybe you should have been someone else or something else rather than who you are now, basically implies that even if an outcome is not predetermined, somehow it can still happen, which does not make any sense. So In this way, it becomes quite obvious that the reason why you are you and not anyone else is simply because you were always going to be you and not anyone else. And really, that's it. That's all there is to it. So that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching.